Hello and welcome to World Talks with me, Ashim Kumar. Poland's government is proposing a significant overhaul of the tax system, raising the second personal income tax threshold to 130,000 zloty, while introducing a new 24% rate for incomes between 130 and 150,000 zloty. With the budget under pressure, who ultimately pays for this relief? Joining us is Witold Orłowski, he's economist at the Vistula University. Welcome back to TVP World. Thank you for taking the time, Mr. Orłowski.
Hello.
So, who are the real winners and losers from this change in tax brackets?
First, I must say that this is not a huge revolution, right? I mean, it's obviously has got some impact, but this is not a big change on the tax system. There is no general tax increase or decrease. It's basically budget neutral. So there are only some changes within the groups of the society. And basically, the group that gains the most is the middle class. Well, maybe even upper middle class. I'm somewhere between average middle class. Okay? While the group, excuse me, just let me finish.
Yes, go on.
But the richest ones will pay, but not a significant, not a dramatically high price for that. So on the average, and some company tax was also increased. So in a sense, this is not very significant, but some change towards more progressiveness of the taxation, with the clear gains for the middle class.
Okay, I want to come to corporation tax in a minute, but let's talk about this gain for the middle class. According to the government, 3.5 million people in Poland will benefit from this change, and the 3.5 million people form the backbone of the political support for the government. Is this a political move or an economic move?
You said so. No, I guess I mean it's clear that it's mainly a political move. From the economic point of view, it's not very significant. Well, let's discuss it in a moment, the issue of the increase of the CIT or corporate tax, profit taxes. But from the economic point of view, it's not a huge impact. Well, basically, we should remember the main problem of the Polish public finance is the deficit and the growing debt, and this reform is doing nothing about that. It's budget neutral, so no change that would have a significant macroeconomic impact. But obviously, as you said, the middle class is a backbone, especially the urban middle class. With the incomes of slightly above the average, it's the backbone of the support for the Prime Minister and his party, and I guess that must have been the key element. Well, I must say the Prime Minister, and it's not an economic comment; it's a political comment. Although I'm not here to discuss the politics, but sometimes the Prime Minister has been accused of forgetting about his own constituency and trying to please the other groups that are not likely to vote for the Civic Platform in any case. And this time, I guess, as a reaction, there is a move that is clearly aimed at the constituency, at the voters of the Liberal Party.
Okay, so that takes care of the voting bloc. What about the corporation tax? What's happening there?
Well, it is expected to increase. The increase is not going to be huge. I mean, Poland had a relatively low corporate income tax of 19%, and this tax is I mean, the project is to leave this tax at 19% for small companies and to increase it to 22% for the big companies. And basically 22 by European standards, it's not anything terrifying. I wouldn't say that it would have a huge impact on the situation of films. The films are pretty profitable. As you remember, The Economist, fast growing, one of the fastest growing economies in Europe. And not just in this moment, over the last decade or more. And so I don't think that it will have this increase from 19 to 22% would have a significant impact.
Well,
the people will let's just finish one sentence, because there is also some increase of the taxation for the people with the highest incomes, above 1 million zloty. 1 million is 1/4 million of euros. It's quite a sizable income, right? But this is only the increase from, actually they are paying for this over 1 million zloty, has been paying 32%, now it will 36, now it will 37%. So still the marginal tax rate is not very high in Poland, and the change is not huge.
It's not huge, but it is the high earners and the companies that are investing in generating more business for the country, and thereby impacting the deficit. So surely those groups should be the ones benefiting from bigger tax breaks, shouldn't they?
Yes, they should, but the politics is the politics, and we started from we started from the conclusion that we should make it at the very last, in the last part of our discussion, that was a political move without looking very much at the economic consequences. I wouldn't say that this is a move that is okay. This is clearly not a move improving the fiscal system in Poland. The PIT tax starts to be more complicated. As you said, there is some maybe not very big, but some discouragement for the rich people and for the companies. But as I said, given that the scale of this is not huge, I wouldn't be very much afraid of the effects of negative effects of that.
Okay, so has Prime Minister Tusk done enough, in your opinion, to make his voters happy, to bring him back to power at the next election?
Good question. We are in Poland. The politics, as you know, is very dynamic now, with new forces. Far right rising, with the traditional right wing party in a sense disintegrated, and the situation is very dynamic, and basically still it's kind of head-to-head situation between the ruling coalition and the opposition. And one can imagine every scenario. So I'm not surprised that the Prime Minister started to care more about his voters, and especially that he wants also to attract some voters of the other parties that were forming the coalition. And but the question, is it enough? Difficult to say. In general, the situation is difficult to explain, although you should ask about the political scientists, not me, or sociologists, because we are talking about, one of the fastest or the fastest growing economy in Europe, with the income booming actually over the last 10, 20 years, with the income distance to Western Europe shrinking, significantly, with the inflation under control. So basically you look at all these elements, and you should say, zero unemployment, no unemployment problem at all. And you look at all this set of economic indicators, and should say that should be the happiest nation in Europe, supporting enthusiastically the current government, and so on and so on. And this is not true, actually.
Well, it's certainly... Poland has done extremely well economically, as you say, for decades. And long may it continue, Mr. Orłowski. As always, thank you very much for sharing your analysis with our audience, and have a good evening, sir.
Good evening, Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, lots more coming up. Goodbye.